We're joined by Tanmanjeet Singh Dhesi, Labour Shadow Minister for Railways. Good morning, Tan. We really appreciate your time this morning. Now, of course, you want to see the Prime Minister go, but isn't it the case that the reason Labour want the Prime Minister gone is because they know he is a vote winner and he would win against a general election with Keir Starmer?
Well, Mercy, if he was a vote winner, he wouldn't be in this situation. I think what we have seen over not just a few weeks, but months now of rule breaking, complete disregard for the ministerial code, complete disregard for the norms, and going about conducting himself in office in a manner which actually demeans a prime ministerial office. And I think that's why a lot of Conservative MPs now are waking up to the realisation. If we're looking at the opinion polls, I'm not one to rely too heavily on them, but I know that many Conservative colleagues do look very closely at them. That shows that Labour has a huge lead in those opinion polls. We're on course to make sure that the Conservatives do not win these two upcoming by-elections. But I think that it's about time that the Conservative MPs actually develop that moral backbone, that they overcome that alleged bullying or blackmailing which has been alleged, and also that they do the right and honourable thing, because we cannot rely on Boris Johnson to do the right and honourable thing after completely disregarding the huge sacrifices that so many people have had to make by not being able to say farewell to their relatives during funerals, or missing weddings and other special occasions as well.
OK, look, I understand that completely. If I were you, I might be concerned that Keir Starmer has just lost the next general election before it's even started, because he's already confirmed, he's wasted no time in confirming that he would renegotiate a, quote, better deal with the EU. The people don't want to return to the old Brexit days. People don't want to return to he's dragging us back into the past. Is that really a vote winner?
Patrick, what he's not saying that we rerun the referendum. I think he's saying something entirely reasonable and sensible to say that we need to renegotiate the deal. The deal that we've got at the moment is an absolute shambles. Boris Johnson promised that there would not be a border down the Irish Sea. We now have a border down the Irish Sea, which actually weakens our union, our United Kingdom union. There are people in Northern Ireland that are not happy at all with the status quo. Businesses have suffered with the increased bureaucracy. So many people in my Slough constituency, those businesses, they are suffering because of that added bureaucracy and not being able to export their goods. And even if they wanted to import certain parts for their businesses, they are no longer in a position to be able to do so. So on a whole range of measures, there has been a devastating impact on our economy. And that's why we need to renegotiate the terms of that Brexit. We're not going to renegotiate the whole of Brexit itself. We know that's already happened, Patrick. So I think it's entirely sensible that he's taking that course.
So, look, the main thing people at home are going to be thinking about when they're contemplating the prospect that there could be a new leader, could be a new Prime Minister, is how they might deal with the cost of living. And the Chancellor Rishi Sunak and the government have, to their credit, set out recently what help they're going to give people to deal with that. What would Keir Starmer do that's different? Because there are people now who might be considering that they might switch to Labour in the next general election.
Look, Mercy, I want to give credit to Boris Johnson and Rishi Sunak for having copy-pasted Labour Party policies. For over 5 months, we were there demanding that there should be a windfall tax on the billions of extra profits that those oil and gas companies had accumulated, and they did not do so. And remember, every day that they procrastinated, that put £50 million extra onto British household bills.
So sorry, but doesn't it follow? Doesn't it follow then? Sorry, can I just doesn't it follow then that if you think they have adopted policies you would adopt, then actually they're doing the right thing when it comes to the cost of living, and actually they don't need to oust Boris Johnson on that basis?
Mercy, that's just one policy that I outlined. Unfortunately, they haven't taken on board our entire programme, which is what the country needs. And that's what I am most happy with. In terms of Keir Starmer and Jarena, they are going about setting their stall. And what we're making sure that we have those policies in place to deal with the major issues affecting the hard-working British people, including tackling the cost of living crisis, including actually reinstalling trust, integrity and honesty within our democracy, because we around the world are famed for our standards, for our values. And I think that what's being done at the moment through Boris Johnson, through even the handing out of billions of pounds of corrupt COVID contracts to Tory donors and so on, that actually demean their office to such an extent whereby many people are losing trust and faith in politics.
Absolutely. Look, I can see where you're coming from, but you have to be honest at the same time. And wouldn't a Labour government mean a potential vote on Scottish independence, and also a potential rejoining to the single market?
No, I think if you look closely, Patrick, we have not espoused any of those two particular policies to which you have referred. If anything, what we have referred to is increasing standards and increasing trade and making sure that we have £28 billion invested on an annual basis to make sure that we have that transition towards a greener, more efficient economy. We want to be very jobs focused, because that would also ensure that more than 400,000 jobs are created, that we need to support our manufacturing industries, in particular, those jobs on the factory floor where we make the transition towards electric vehicles and the like, that we in Britain need to be the pioneers, that we actually export that expertise elsewhere. But I think that's key.
Sure. Look, I'd be quite worried if any politician or any government wasn't jobs focused. I think all politicians and prospective ones do need to be jobs focused. But do you really think that this net zero agenda is the vote winner? Because quite frankly, we see it in our inbox all the time. This is not what people are thinking about. They're thinking, if this is going to cost me more money, but going for the green agenda, then I don't want to know about it.
Well, Mercy, look, it's about doing the right thing, but also doing it in a way that we take the public along with us. That's why we are saying that we will lead to a greener economy, but one which is very jobs focused as well. That's why I mentioned that £28 billion worth of investment, which will actually lead to more than 400,000 extra jobs. And that's what we should be doing. We don't want to be punishing the British people for doing the right thing. We need to do what's right for our planet, for our and tackling the climate crisis, because that in turn will help us to improve the way that we do things within our society. So it's not an either or, it's both.
Look, thank you so much. We do always really appreciate you coming on and putting up your side of the argument. It really does matter a lot here on GB News. We are here to give all sides of every single particular coin. So thank you very much, Tan. That's great to have you on the show there. Tan Dhesi now.